Konnichiwa, sayonara, January. This is gonna be a lot of stuff I'm gonna talk real quick, maybe not. Talk about what I did this month, talk about Magfest, gonna talk about some other stuff, and then I'm gonna just not talk about it when I'm done talking about it. Stuff I did this month or stuff that I'm included in this month. The Video Game Years DVD Volume 2 is out now. That's gonna be 1981 and 1982 in one convenient DVD. There's a lot of great stuff on there, including an outtake reel of me, so that's in there. The thing I gotta say about that is I used to do everything scripted on the Video Game Years, and then somewhere around, I think it was 1984, I stopped doing that. So while I had it scripted, I was messing up all the time because I wanted to say it exactly this way. So when I'd mess up, I would just be like, get frustrated and do something stupid to entertain, you know, at the time I think it was John who was doing most of the editing and just the editors to entertain them. And they decided to keep it and turn it into a blooper reel. So enjoy that. Link to that below. It was available for purchase at Magfest, but if you didn't go to Magfest, you can pre-order it. You can order it now. It's gonna be shipping out in February, and there's more details in the links. Also, working on the podcast right now, hoping to get it done soon, hoping to get it uploaded by the end of the month, but every time, you know how it goes, we'll see what happens. I was also in a video for Pixel Dan of Pixels to Plastic. You know who I'm talking about. He just crossed the 100,000 subscriber mark, so he wanted to do a video about that, and he's like, hey, you want to shoot some stuff? So I shot some stuff. I wasn't sure how he's going to use it, so I just did some really awkward audio. I was like, you're probably not going to use the audio is what I was thinking, and he totally did. So there's that, and bloopers of me being dumb at the end of that. So that's in the links as well. Good job. Congratulations, Pixel Dan. Over 100,000, dang. That's crazy. Maybe someday. No, I don't know. Probably not. Speaking of Pixel Dan, you may have noticed my awesome shirt. It's a Videocade Commentaries shirt. He got me this for Christmas. He sent me this along with the Pixel Dan shirt, which you can see in the video that I just mentioned. So thanks, Dan. You're the man. Dan, you're the man. You're the man, Dan. Why am I so repetitious? Why do I repeat so much? Oh, I just did it. And speaking of the Videocade Commentaries, we've got one in the can. Just gotta edit it together and put it, and that should be out soon. So as you can tell at this point, I would have mentioned if I had a video out. If I had a video out, I don't have a video out. But that was because this month was full of a lot of stuff. I got sick, I had stuff to do, video game, Magfest stuff. You know, we'll talk about it, you'll know what I did. But on that note, I'm sure you guys aren't happy with it. I know I'm not happy with my production because last year, I don't know how many videos I put up, but it wasn't very many. And I saw recently someone put a post on Twitter and they showed like the videos I had posted on RetroWare, and I think it was like 4 or 5, and it was like for the year. And they're like, miss you, dude. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty bad. Rough year, 2014, I mentioned, you know, 2015 hasn't gotten off to a great start either, to be honest with you, but hopefully, I'm just gonna try and force myself to do something once a month, you know, I mean, that sounds bad, force myself. I'm just gonna like kick myself in the butt to do it, you know. It's a matter of time, money, motivation sometimes, you know, so I really have to just kick myself in the butt to keep going. So that's my goal this year. January's in the past. February and every month forward, I'm really gonna push for the one video a month kind of thing. Some people have said like, hey man, even if you did like little funny videos or something like that, at least it'd be something, and I get that. I've always pushed more for quality over quantity, but if I could get like a nice balance, that'd be cool. Like, hey, you know, come out with a, you know, good video every month would be nice. Let me know what you guys think. Would you rather I do a video a quarter, you know, 4 videos a year, the level of quality or so that they've been at, or do a video a month with the understanding that maybe if I'm only giving myself a month to do it, it only can be as good as I can get done in a month. So quality over quantity, or just both as best I can. I don't want to get to a point where I'm like, here's a video every week and it's a turd. You know, I never want to do that. But yeah, so I'm going to try to ramp up production. Something I've been really hesitant to do, let me know what you guys think. I have always done this because it's a hobby, and I've always thought it was a fun thing to do. And I've basically contributed about a full-time job's worth sometimes, you know, obviously not always, to doing these videos in addition to my full-time job. And you know, people around me sometimes just kind of like, really, you're doing this like it's a real job, you're not making any money. Oh, okay, well, that's all right. You know, and I've never really been about the money, it's always been about fun. But I'm thinking, and some people have pointed out that I'm a bit foolish for not even trying to cash in a little bit. I know that sounds bad. That kind of has a connotation of selling out and that kind of stuff, which is why I really haven't done it, you know? It's never been about getting the money, and I also don't want to have that, you know, kind of like a sold out kind of reputation and that kind of thing, whatever. I think what I need to do at this point, since revenue for myself is down this year, it's rough. Last year, you know, money kind of, and then I've been complaining in recent months about, hey, I don't have that much money. I want to go to Japan this year, you know, I want to do some things. I just got back from Magfest and man, I found some cheap airfare, so I got lucky on that. But I really need to come up with a second way of getting income, and getting another job would be the obvious, you know, choice. I can only make so much money at my one job right now. And as far as a second job, you know, I spend that time that I could take up a second job doing this kind of stuff. So even a little bit extra would probably help. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to monetize on the videos, which is of course gonna put an ad bumper at the beginning. I'll try to make them as unannoying as possible by, you know, limiting them, not like making you watch them or doing like a split roll ad or anything like that. My goal would be to have the ads that have like 5 seconds, click the skip, done, and then it's just done. I don't mind doing that. I don't know if that bothers you guys or whatever, but just to try and get a little bit extra money, because I am saving up for Japan and I'm kind of capped out at like what I can do for my normal job, and there's no way I can do another job on top of this, plus do the videos. So I figure maybe make a little extra money. Please let me know what you think about that. You know, I've always been like, oh, I don't really want to do that, because I could just picture like, you know, sometimes people on the internet might be like, oh, pss, sold out, whatever, bump you. I don't want to talk about it. I don't know. On a somewhat similar but different note, this is gonna sound bad back to back, but several people have asked me if I have a P.O. box and they wanted to send me stuff. I've never been like, hey guys, send me some stuff, never. But since it's been now, I think, you know, coming up on about a half a dozen requests for send me some stuff. And you know, it's the internet, it's kind of like, yeah, you know, people are probably cool, but like giving out your address is probably not the smartest thing to do on the internet in general. So I need to get a P.O. box. I'm gonna do that, and when I do, probably in next month's update video, I'll let you know what the P.O. box is if you wanted to send me anything. But guess what? I'm not asking for anything. Please don't feel obligated to send me anything. This is for the people that were like, oh, I really want to send you this thing, and I'm like, I don't want to give out my address to the internet, you know? I mean, I'm sure it's super easy to find because of the internet, but I don't want to be putting it out there voluntarily, you know? You never know what could happen. But I'm just going to put out a P.O. box, and if anyone wants to, please don't feel obligated. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just putting this out there in case you already wanted to put something, then you can just put it. Have I been careful enough with the two last things I was talking about? Obviously, you can tell I have a little trepidation about both of those, but anyway, moving on. In regards to more stuff I wanted to do this month, I really wanted to have my album out by now, but it's not done. One of the tracks is being mastered for that album that I was telling you about. That's Ben's album that my track is gonna be on. I figure I might as well wait for that to be done being mastered, and then I can work on mastering my own, because sound issues are kind of existent on that album, so hopefully I can make it better. I don't want to release it until it's good. Same thing goes with the game room. That's another goal, very close goal, you know, maybe next month, something like that. I want to get the video for the basement done, because I'm in it, I've been in it, everything's really fine in here. I just have a couple things that I really got to finish. Like I had the idea for the flagpole, you know, that's not there, and I don't want to do the video just to be like, hey, now that I got the flagpole in, here's another video. You know, people have been asking me that. People at Magfest asked me about that. A lot of people have been asking, when are you gonna get that done? As soon as possible. I'm really sorry. I need funds to get it done, and I also need time to get it done, so it's a matter of both. So that's what I was doing this month. I just wanted to give you an update on what I wanted to do with the channel and some stuff going forward, but hopefully expect more frequent videos from me. Hopefully. I'm not working overtime at work now, so I think it's going to be, I can focus on this. I'm gonna commit myself to working on it at least an hour a day, and then on the weekends I can of course work on stuff more. It's like New Year's resolution stuff, really, you know? Working out, doing that, studying Japanese, you know? I'm gonna occupy all of my time as wisely as I can. So let's talk about Magfest. I went to Magfest this year. I know last month I wasn't sure if I was gonna go. I ended up getting airfare on New Year's Eve. I went online and I looked up, and I wonder, you know, before it turns into the new year, what prices are like. It was like 250 bucks round trip from Denver to DC. That's pretty sweet. I think that's half of what I've paid in the past, and that was awesome. So Frontier, thank you for that. That really helped, because money has been tight and I was like really thinking I might not go this year, but luckily I was able to. This year Magfest was from Friday, January 23rd to Monday, January 26th. And that's a 4-day Magfest. In the past, it's only been 3. Some people come a little early, some people leave a little late and that kind of stuff. But this is the actual longest official dates of Magfest that I've seen anyway. In the past, this was the 4th year that I've gone. So it was the biggest Magfest ever, as far as I can tell, because they overbooked rooms by over 140 rooms. So some people had to stay in another hotel, I think 8 miles away and stuff. So Magfest was huge, probably the biggest Magfest ever. Attendance was massive. January 23rd was a bit of a rough day, because it was the first day of Magfest, but it was also the anniversary of JewWario Carmical's passing. And so that was kind of all on all of our minds, and I think it kind of set the tone for the Magfest, unfortunately, just because, you know, his absence was there. I mean, you know, like that doesn't make a lot of sense, but I kind of mean we could kind of feel his absence, you know. It was a different mood, because I mentioned in my video I did a year ago that when he was around, the mood really lifted, and that's true. And you could definitely feel it when, you know, he wasn't there. So that, plus, you know, some other people weren't there and that kind of stuff. But I mean, it was just kind of a rough start. While I was sitting at the airport, I was just checking Facebook, as I never do, but there were people on RetroWare that were posting stuff. So I was on Facebook, and I saw that one of my, you know, best friends from back in school through high school had posted something, and then I found out that day that one of my best friends that I grew up with had taken his own life. And so it was a really rough day to kind of start. I mean, it was right before I got on the, you know, I was about to board the plane and found that out. In addition, I mean, we already knew that this was the anniversary of Justin's passing. Coupled with that, it's just kind of a rough start, you know. It was nice to get to see everybody again. You know, some people weren't there, some people were new, and so it was great. But it was, you know, it was just kind of off. It just felt a little off. Speaking of Justin, the night we got there, they aired the FamiKamen Rider movie, which, you know, there was, they had gotten started on that, and they wanted to kind of, you know, finish the project. So they made a movie. You know, it's got some clips from what he had shot previously, and it just kind of some, you know, winks and nods and some audio and stuff from things that he had done in the movie, and it was really funny, and it was just great to see that. You know, the video is not available right now, but they showed us what they call the rough cut, which actually seemed pretty polished and ready to go to me. But they're gonna work on that, and it's gonna be a web release later on, and I'm not sure what else they're gonna do with it. When I hear anything about it, I'll let you know, and I'll post links. Some of us were at the Gaylord, which is the main place where the convention is, and some of us were at another hotel nearby, and we kind of split going between the two, and that was actually really fun. I got to room with Dan from Pixels to Plastic, who I just mentioned, and so it was really cool to hang out with him. That was a lot of fun.
Who's this guy?
Rocking out to that.
I know they say dance like no one's watching, but people are.
Yeah!
Pixel down. We got our own room. You know, normally it's multiple guys in a room and that kind of stuff. And, you know, some people have the bed, some people have an air mattress, which is normally what I do. And I'm not complaining, but it was nice to be in a bed every night. That was pretty sweet. So anyway, super comfortable. Oh my gosh. Haven't slept like that forever. Despite the fact that some people weren't there, some of the usuals were there, some of the usual suspects. John of RetroWare TV.
He's got a body like you. That's all the words I know.
Rue of 16-Bit Gems.
Do something funny.
Boo. Mary Beth, who I said last year, I found out that she was the girl from the year before that was singing to Justin, and they did like a Les Miserables, like impromptu scene where they both sang, and that was great.
I don't know what this is, but it's awesome.
So yeah, anyway, you know who I'm talking about, McGee. I call her McGee, I don't know why. I don't remember where that came from. Norm, the gaming historian.
We love each other, we're friends, let's walk in here.
There you go. Yeah, keep that going. There's a lot of love.
Now we're going.
There's a lot of, oh, we're okay, now we're holding up the, oh, we got cut off.
Mark Carr of indie game Searchlight.
These two people are playing a video game. 2015.
Michael and Ponter of Living in 8-Bits, who just joined RetroWare a year ago. And so we met up with them at Magfest. They were really cool guys. And shortly after they joined up with RetroWare. James of Epic Game Music, who I got to meet last year as well, yesteryear. Adam, AKA Squarepainter, and I always have to pick up something of his, and I'll show you that later. Buddy Michael Anthony of Still Loading. David of Saturnology and his girlfriend Rhea, and their friend Nathan, who I got to meet. And so most of those were people that, you know, I had seen before, but largely missing, of course, were Justin, Lance of RetroWare TV, Derek, Happy Video Game Nerd. You know, he's been there the last 3 years that I've been there, and he wasn't there this year. The Game Chasers, Pat and Ian, that's Buddy Ian from last year. And Shane of Rerez, you know, who I got to meet for the first time last year, but he wasn't there this year. So, but some people were gone, but I got to meet some new people. Ben of Port Center, who was new to the site, but he's actually leaving the site. He is freaking hilarious, like super funny. very witty, very sharp. He was hilarious at the panels, he was hilarious in person, and I was just like, it really sucks he's leaving because he's really freaking funny. But you know, that leaves me to be the funny guy. I don't know, that's not really, sorry. Got to meet Corey and Try of My Life in Gaming. Got to meet Jonathan. Jonathan had like created some awesome Game Boys that were like backlit with really bright colors. It was freaking awesome. I'd never seen anything like that. Anyway, it was really cool. LSDJ people want a cool looking Game Boy. He hooked it up. They were really cool looking. Got to meet 8-Bit Allie, who came with her boyfriend Wood.
Videoing. Look at that look.
Good day, mate.
All right. Thank you, sir. That was a look of death just now.
They came from Australia. Freaking crazy long flight. Apparently it was like 32 hours to get here because all these stopovers and stuff. That's insane. By the way, her boyfriend has a YouTube site called Beat 'em Ups, and I'll put it in the links. They were all really nice. I also got to meet, well, he's not a RetroWare, but Game Dave. And we've gone back and forth on like Vine and stuff like that. He's freaking hilarious, and he's just as hilarious in person. He gave me a pin, I'll show you later. Button, pin, same thing. So that first night, shortly after we got there, you know, just kind of went to the booth, got some stuff to eat, you know, hanging out in the booth a lot of the times is kind of what we do at Magfest often. We got to see On Being Human, and they played an awesome show as usual. Unfortunately, I was really far back when I recorded it, so here's a really small video of that. My phone had died, I had to recharge it way at the other end of the room, sorry about that one. Got to meet and see Azuria Sky, who I mentioned last month, got to see her play, so here's some of that. She was really nice, the show was really cool. I shot the video so Ben could see, because you know, he really liked her live stuff that he had seen before and he wasn't able to go there, so sent that to Ben. There were plenty of awesome sights and sounds and usual stuff, just weird, random things as it happens at Magfest. You know what I'm talking about. If you've been, you know, but if you haven't, you should go. We're hanging out at the booth, we're playing games. We had two different panels. We had the video game years, where I got to see the editors that had worked on the video game years and made it the awesome show that it is, so that was cool. Got to go to the RetroWare TV panel where we had our usual game challenge, and it was me and Dan, because Dan and I have a rivalry with Bomberman. We were gonna play each other, but actually we teamed up against two people from the audience, and we lost. We both lost. It was not good. It was not a good day for RetroWare. I don't know if anybody won, actually. I don't know, we just weren't on our game that day for some reason. The first time I got beaten Bomberman, fair game. I didn't do very well. The second one, I actually got someone pinned between two bombs, and I was like, oh, and I thought it was me. I switched characters mentally, and as soon as I realized I was actually outside the little bomb trap, I didn't get out of the way in time and died. It was pathetic. I was all right. In panels, not my best appearance, but you know, did my best. While we were there, we played a lot of Smash Bros on 3DS and Wii U, and I didn't do great, but sometimes I did all right. And we also played some real crazy games. Well, naturally we played Street Pass because it's not even a thing to play necessarily, it's just a little thing on the 3DS. Every convention since I started going, it's all about Street Pass. Like, you get so many crazy Street Passes and you just get puzzles and go play whatever, Find Me and that kind of stuff. So it's fun to do that. And it was just funny because as soon as we got there, we're all instantly, yeah. It's like, good to see you guys. And we're doing this. This is how people socialize now. Stand around in a circle, haven't seen you for a long time, and then we just play games. The future is now, and it sucks. We played Joust on PS4, which I had never heard of before or seen, and it's crazy. How is this a video game? So weird. Anyway, we had a lot of fun doing that on our last night. It's just, it's a weird video game. I don't think I have room in my basement to do that, but it's pretty cool. I bought cool games, got cool stuff, and I'll show it to you in a little bit. It was great to meet new people, see some of the old people, you know, hang out and have a good time. You know, Magfest, it's a lot of fun. If you haven't gone, go. It gets bigger all the time. You're gonna wanna prepare well in advance. So I think every year, more and more people recognize me. So here's a list of people that recognize me. As always with my list, just like last year, I got off on the numbering. So if I mention your name and I'm wrong, please let me know and I'll put in a little amendment in the annotations because I'm gonna put annotations. But anyway, I'm just gonna list the names. Here they are, here's the people. Ironically, I first saw Chris, who by the way, last year I made a big deal about, oh, there was someone, as soon as I was walking in the revolving door, someone went up and said, oh, you're taller than I thought in real life. And I just didn't know what to say. I was just like, oh, ha, ha, ha. Because I was like, you know, tired from the ride and I had my baggage and I just like, am not used to still people recognize me. Like, I don't know them, but they know me. And that's kind of a weird thing because they instantly recognize me. And I'm just like, I don't know who you are. Because in a normal social event, you're at a party and someone's, hey, Eric. And you're just kind of like, oh God, I don't know who this is. It's kind of that feeling. You know, and it's like, I should just obviously know that by now. Like, oh, people are gonna recognize me and I'm not gonna recognize them. I just need to get that through my head. It's hard. I don't know why. It's always kind of awkward. So I'm just gonna like, oh, hey. And I'm just awkward naturally. So anyway, Chris identified himself as, hey, I'm the guy that you mentioned in your video last year that, you know, you said that you didn't know what to say. And I was tired too, man. I totally understand. I was like, ah, crap. So Chris was the person that I met. I didn't get to tell you last year. Just like last year, first person to recognize me. That was awesome. Then I got to meet Rob and Doug, which actually, Doug, I've seen at every Magfest. Always freaking awesome. He's given me stuff like year after year, like here's a pin or here's like a lanyard or whatever it's called. This year, he gave me a video game. And I'll show you which one it is in a minute. Also met Al and Evan and Chase from Machine Games Texas, who actually I've seen comment before and I've responded to some of his stuff. I didn't know who it was, so now I could put a face with the name and hopefully I wrote it down in the right order. Justin, Goodwill Hunter on YouTube. I'll put the name because it's like G00DWILLHUNT3R, which now I just said it, so I don't have to put it in there because I just put it. Josh, also on YouTube, I believe, as JCAU99. Also met Mark, not Mark Carr, different Mark. Adam, not Adam of Squarepainter, just Adam. I don't know their last names, actually. It's always weird putting people's names on there unless they want me to put the last name in, so I try not to do that. Asked everyone's permission to do this, by the way. Got to meet Bailey, who was really cool. He had a custom 3DS that he made himself. He made it in MS Paint, and he got it printed out on, you know, plastic case for his 3DS. Very cool. Got to meet Tim Wendell after one of our retro panels. I think it was Video Game Years. Cool to meet you and talk about your Japanese shirt. I remember that. Also got to meet Nikki. Got to meet Steven Seals, who actually had asked a question on one of the panels. Really big into TurboGrafx, which is totally John's thing, so they were happy to talk about that. Got to meet yet another Adam. I ran into someone at the bar, so we also had, there was a Screenwave party, which Ryan of Screenwave was super awesome, always very generous, you know, food and drinks for us and all that kind of stuff. Who, by the way, is who I'm gonna be monetizing my videos with on Screenwave. And when we were there, just some random guy that was at the bar that, you know, obviously just called me out and said, hey, what's up? His name was Tim, and he's just like, hey man, love your stuff, love your Zapper videos. Hey, wanna buy you a beer? And I was like, ah, thanks so much, man, but I already had free beer. Like, I'm not gonna have him buy me a beer when I already have free beer. I mean, yeah, more beer is better, but I felt weird about that. So I was just like, yeah, appreciate it, but I already have these free tickets for beer. So thank you very much for the offer. I just didn't feel right taking your beer. Taking your beer money, I already got free beer. Right next to him at the same bar, I met Andrew. And on the other side of the bar, friend of On Being Human, got to meet Jeremy Parra, which is P-A-R-R-A. Also ran into Matt Ammer, I believe, or Amr. I wrote it down, A-M-M-E-R. Nice talking to you, man. Hopefully you made it back safe, because I think that you were up near where that storm was. And yeah, there was a crazy storm at the end of this, by the way. A lot of people had to leave early or got stuck. Michael Anthony, last I knew, he was stuck in DC like the day before yesterday. One of the last people I got to meet, actually on my way out, got to meet Rip. Well, I didn't meet him, I've seen him before. Like, multiple years I've, you know, mailbag. I've gotten to talk to him before, and he's really super cool guy. I barely saw him at all last year, and I only saw him once this year, I think. So anyway, nice to talk to you really briefly, and it looked like he had some Squarepainter art with him. This was a long trip, but it seemed kind of short. I mean, while it was going on, you know, it's always just a lot of stuff, and it's just kind of like, whoa, one thing to another thing, and it just goes by like that. Even though it was 4 days, which is kind of a long time, I'd compare it to Vegas. Usually you go to Vegas, and it's like 3 days, and I'm pretty good, you know, and it was actually fine. It was just that at the end, it just gets kind of sad because everyone's packing up, and everyone's leaving, and it's just, I've never seen the end of Magfest because I usually leave right on the last day, and this was like towards the end of the last day. Had a lot of fun hanging out with everybody, meeting new people, and it's just Magfest, so it's always fun. Cool new games and stuff. I probably didn't document enough of that as well as I should have, but as usual, when I'm going to the airport, I almost always run into someone. I think the year before last I ran into Norm, and then last year I ran into Michael Anthony, so it was just kind of cool. And this year I ran into Mark Carr of Indie Game Searchlight, and I also ran into Ben of Port Center. So it was just kind of nice, you know, way to wrap it up. Just, oh, ran into someone I knew, chat with them for a while, their plane leaves and then my plane leaves, so that's how it goes. It's kind of sad leaving Magfest as always, but you know, there'll always be next year, and hopefully next year is a little bit more up, because it was just kind of, you know, it's just kind of one of those bummer things. But overall, it was good. I'm glad that I went and, you know, had the money to go, luckily, and it was a lot of fun, and maybe I'll see you guys there next year. There's other conventions going on this year that I've been invited to, I'd love to go to, but money again, I don't know if I can do it. So we'll have to see what happens. So with that, enough about Magfest. This is already a pretty long video, but I think it's better than last year. Last year was incredibly long, so let's try and keep it shorter. Talking about pickups. I'm gonna do my Magfest swag. I don't think I realized it at the time, but I was naturally gravitated to the yellow lanyard. They had all kinds of different colors. I'm like, I want the yellow one. I didn't even think of it. Later on, someone came by and they gave us all these yellow ribbons, and these are in honor, of course, of JewWario. So that was really cool to have that, and I don't know who gave it to us, you know, but thank you very much if you're watching this by chance. Really appreciate that. That was very nice. Got my little badge for this year. Everyone's like, let's get. Yeah, my handwriting is not good. But also on here, I have little buttons that I was given. This was from Ben of Port Center. I don't think that's videoing. There it goes. And when I ran into Game Dave, he gave me a button. It says Game Dave. Awesome meeting you, man. Freaking hilarious. Like, got to hang out with him a bit, and just like Ben, just the two of them are just freaking always on and just like super witty and funny all the time. I'm super jealous, but anyway. And of course, represent video game years. Got a video game years button, so very awesome. Nice lanyard. Well, this looks familiar. It looks like the shirt I've got on. Got a Videocade Commentaries sticker from Dan. So there's stickers that he was giving out, and these shirts will be available, I believe. I'll put details below if I'm mistaken about that. They might be available. I probably should have looked at that. There's no time. James of Epic Game Music was nice enough to give me another CD, just like last year. This is this year's edition, and it was great to hear that last year. You should check out his stuff. If you haven't, check it out. All these people I'm talking about, check them out. Just check them, I don't know. Over at the Screenwave booth I was mentioning, Ryan gave me this, Ryan of Screenwave, and this has all kinds of crazy music, including Epic Game Music. Peep. And he also gave me this, the Angry Video Game Nerd movie Blu-ray, which I have, as I mentioned months back, a very small part in, but hey, awesome to have. I already have it digitally. Now I have a physical copy forever. I can always go back and be like, check it out. I was in a movie, and I was. So that's really awesome. Thank you very much. I got this game cartridge, but it's not a game cartridge. As you may or may not be able to read, it says The Legend of Drink, which would make this a flask. It's actually plastic, like a real cartridge. It seems to be. I mean, it's obviously not, but it seems just like one, and it's actually a flask. It's pretty awesome. As I mentioned before, the Video Game Years Volume 2 DVD featuring years 81 and 82, the golden era, as it says. I picked up my copy at Magfest. You can get yours. You can pre-order it. You can get it, I think it'll be there February, and I think they're 15 bucks, but I'll put it in the video. I don't want to say anything wrong. I'll put it in the links. Not video. I was also interviewed on Living in 8-Bits and their DVD, and they were nice enough to give me one of these because I was on it. So, and they're just good guys. Everyone on RetroWare is super nice, so I can't wait to check this out. And I'm in it, so peep it. Not that that's a selling point, but sure. Just peep it out because it's awesome, but also I'm in it, I don't know. This is some really cool artwork. I've seen any of these conventions you go to, if you guys have been to them, you're gonna see perler art everywhere. And if you've seen one of them, you might have seen them all, but not like this. Booyah, multi-layered perler art. I've never seen it before. It probably isn't like a new thing to anybody else, but it is to me, and I love Bub of Bubble Bobble, and it just looks awesome. It stands up, it's got a little stand in the back, and it can also be hung. So it's very cool. I dig it. And speaking of Bub, I got this from Adam of Squarepainter, and every year I see one of these, I have to pick one up. I think this is my third. Thanks, Adam. I know you watch this while you paint probably, so keep up the good work, man. This is awesome. He does a lot more, you know, way more complex stuff than this. I like the simple, like cute stuff like this, but the stuff that he does, like that's so incredibly detailed, it's amazing. It's freaking cool. He's got like massive ones you could put on your wall, just huge, like over your fireplace or something like that. He sold out of almost everything because, I mean, he might have sold out of everything. Actually, I don't think I know what ended up happening, but yeah, tons of pieces, sold almost all of them because it's incredibly awesome. Peep out how awesome, peep out his stuff, go check it out. I'll put a link. He paints it square by square, hence the name Squarepainter, which I know sounds like Square Pusher. We've had this conversation. Let's talk about some video games. Here's my game pickups from Magfest. So I mentioned that Doug, person that I met and I've talked to every year, got me a game. He just walks up, hey, what's up, man? Got you this game. So he gave me X-Men Mutant Academy, which I've never played before. I've seen it on PlayStation before, but I've never actually played it. It's a fighting game featuring X-Men characters. So thanks a lot, man. Appreciate that. I had never seen this game in the wild. Athletic World, Family Fun Fitness. It's a Bandai game, and it works with, or made for, the pad, the game pad that I have. Control mat, done. Why can't I think of the name? The power pad, duh. It's the power pad, right? Yeah, power pad. I have it. I used to play World Class Track Meet on all the time. I could beat Puma, and I just put my toes up, and then I just smashed my heels in the floor as fast as I could. Some people pound now, bump that. I could do it with my feet. Grrr. Wake my parents up Sunday morning with that. Just like sweating, pouring sweat. What the heck are you doing playing that game? So I really want to check this out. Bring that mat out again and see if I can still do it. See what happens. I've got a repro cart here, Retro Game Challenge 2, which was actually Game Center CX2 in Japan. This one never came out in the US. So we got Retro Game Challenge, which was Game Center CX, the game, I don't remember what it's called, the first one. And then the second one never came out here. Neither did the third, and I doubt either of them will ever be released here. Some people had said that the second one wasn't as good as the first. Some of the stuff I saw on this looked really cool though. And the 3DS one I saw out there, and I was gonna buy it, but then someone told me like, yeah, there's really like a problem with, there's a region code, and so you can't really keep it on there. There's like a converter that I guess had just recently come out, and someone told me it's a little technical. I'm like, nah, I don't have time for that. But anyway, this one is supposed to work, but only on the DS. You can't play this on your 3DS. I haven't checked it out yet, but it's a good repro. I mean, it looks authentico. I reviewed the Time Walk game, Castlevania 2 Redaction, and this one's, you know, very similar. It's really nice. I mean, it's all boxed up and everything. I bought this from Michael Anthony, and he hooked me up with a deal. What a guy, thank you. Picked up a couple FamiKamen games. There was more that I really wanted, but I was like, I gotta watch my spending because I've been crazy with my money in the past. It would have been easy to do it. I still kind of spent quite a bit of money, but I tried to keep it as bad as it was. FamiKamen game. I don't know what this is. I was trying to look it up last night and I couldn't find it. It looks obviously like a Kunio-kun game, like the River City Ransom games if you played that. But this one, I was told by the person that sold it to me that it wasn't River City Ransom. It was another one in the series, but I can't seem to find it anywhere online. So it might actually be River City Ransom, but I don't care because I just wanted it and then I got it done. By the way, I'm like 1 or 2 games from hitting the 1,500 physical game copy mark. And I think I probably have them somewhere, I just haven't logged it. So this was almost number 1,500 here, coming close. Like I mentioned last year, I've been dipping back into Justin's stuff. And if you haven't, I really recommend that you do so, especially if you're into import games. Even if you're not, maybe you get into import games because, oh, hey, I can play this game. His series, you can play this. And so I've been watching, he has so many videos. Like there's over 250 videos, I think, on his YouTube channel alone. And there's videos on other sites. So I've been going through that over time and making a list as I go along, like, you know, taking my time, looking at every video, making notes and that kind of stuff. And one of the games that he talked about that in a video that I saw recently, I found in the wild, and it was actually a good find and it was a good price and it looked like an awesome game, so I had to have it either way. Getsufumaden. This one is a Konami game and obviously on the Famicom. And I saw the review of it and he basically said that this is one of those classic games that really should have come out here, you know, like Castlevania and the rest. And when I saw it, I was like, that really should be out here. You can play this. This is a you can play this game. It's not so Japanese that you can't even play it. It's an action game. It's you know, similar in the vein, I suppose, of like a Castlevania game or something like that. So I just saw it and I had to have it. Thank you for the suggestion, Justin. Miss you, man. Sorry, long video, but just something about it. Here's hoping that I will be able to put out more videos soon. I'm really gonna I'm gonna put something out in February. I'm just gonna do it. I know I don't want to promise that I'm going to, because you know I don't want to break a promise to you guys, but I'm gonna start working on it now and all through February, get it out by the end of February. I know it's a short month, but it will be something a little different. And then I also have Zapper videos I want to do this year. It'd be great to get them done this year. I've got multiple reviews that I want to do. I want to get a game room video. This is the goal for 2015. So I know this is the first video of the year, and this is kind of my New Year's resolution. Video a month. I know I always say it, but I'm gonna friggin' do it this time. Please let me know what you think, you know, especially like what I was talking about before with the monetization and that kind of stuff. Like, I know it might suck if you don't like looking at ads and that kind of stuff, but like I said, I want to make it as easy for you guys as possible. After 5 seconds, click the skip button or whatever. You can watch the whole thing if you want. I don't really care. You know, it'd be nice to just get a little extra income considering the amount of time and effort that I have to put into it. It really is a second job. You know, it's fun, but it is a second job that dominates all my free time, and it would be great if I could get, you know, a little bit of compensation from that, just from ad revenue. I'm not asking you guys for anything, but let me know how I feel about that, because I know that I really didn't want to do it initially because I was like, oh, people will be like, you sold out and stuff. Hopefully people don't feel that way, but I think it's a very common thing now that just about everyone does except me. Hence the feeling that people are talking to me like, why are you being such a fool, man? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't have to do it in the past because money was all right. Money's not so right now, and I want to go to Japan. I want to go to these other events, you know, like Magfest and that kind of stuff. And you know, I actually, with every video I make, I go buy all kinds of stuff. You'll see the stupid props and stuff that I have. So really, in the long run, what I've made from making these videos since my start in 2007, I've lost money overall because I bought new equipment and all that kind of stuff, and I've never really made any money off of it. Though I did make a little bit of money from Blip, it's really a blip when compared to like how much I've spent over time. So in any case, let me know what you think. Hopefully that's cool. But other than that, hopefully new video out at the end of February, and I'll see you next month. Peace.